My name is Hoon, and I'm the CEO of DIY Rap Club, formerly Tesbros. So one of the reasons why we were able to grow organically for the first 3 years was the fact that we were close to our community. And I think podcasts, there's a lot of niches out there, and we were able to really connect with some of the industry leaders and influencers and podcast hosts that we wanted to work with. And by doing that, we were able to kind of talk to our customers indirectly in a way that wasn't so abrasive, and it was already something that they were listening to. So we had some Tesla podcasts that we advertised with, and they're already going there for Tesla information or Tesla related podcasts. And for us to be back then, we do other vehicles, but back then really focused on Tesla, and then to talk to that vehicle owners directly like that was a really big deal for us. So I think in 2026, podcast advertising is huge, but I don't want to say that it's going to be so big because I don't want all my competitors to be using it as well. So it will be big, but it's one of the most underrated paid ad strategy that you can do in 26 and onwards. So if you're on the fence about podcast advertising, I would definitely tell you to keep an open mind. Started working with SpotsNow. I didn't even know that you could track podcast advertising. And I think that's really, really important because when you're advertising, I typically spend a lot less than I do from Google ads and Facebook ads, but that allows me to really test my customer profile and who I'm trying to, reach. So when I see that a podcast is doing really well or on a certain podcast, I can look at that and go, wow, these are the type of customers that I need to target. And I could take that data and then use it in other parts of my marketing strategy, adjust our content because we do a lot of YouTube content and other things like that. So it also became kind of a learning platform for us to kind of add to our overall marketing strategy for our e-commerce brand. SpotsNow, we were advertising quite a bit, almost 6 figures in Google ads and Facebook. And Google ads is typically, I think, what most people do. But I've seen in the last 2 years really start to get less and less effective. And I'm not really sure exactly why. There might be a lot of factors that do that, but it's getting harder and harder to get to a profitable state. So that's why we kind of got to SpotsNow, and it's like one of those things like we got to try, we got to take risks, and this was for us an easy risk for us to take. I think the risk in podcast advertising is that there's just not a lot out there, and I think the things that are out there is very kind of snake oily, where it's not very clear like what the metrics are, what the results are. And for me, having done business for the last 7 years, organically and paid ads, it's like the data being truthful is my number one priority. So I think when SpotsNow first, told us about what they do, how they work, that was really what mitigated a lot of our risk because we can go into it knowing the data is clean, they know what they're saying, and then they also make it really, really easy so that we can actually make better decisions and then allocate some of our ad spend to an area that will actually get us profitable. Overall, over a span of several months, we're able to maintain like 3.5 ROAS, which for us is actually quite good. And the cost per acquisition actually went down comparatively to what we were doing on Google ads. Overall, we were absolutely thrilled to see the 3.5 ROAS, and it's continuing to increase as we continue to see some of the advertising still have an impact on our ad strategy. It was absolutely incredible working with Cam and the team at SpotsNow. When we first onboarded, we had a discovery phase. They basically just interviewed us and asked us a bunch of questions about who we are, what we do, and they were completely data-driven, and they found a bunch of podcasts that they thought that would actually work with us and make sense for us. And on top of that, they went a little bit outside that as well to make sure if we can, some more podcasts that may be our audience but may not. But these are pretty easy risks, but it also was pretty low budget, so we can make these tests, and then if it's good, then we can keep adding more spend. If it's not, we can lower our spend or completely stop doing our advertising. But that was completely wrong. We were getting a lot of results and a lot of return on our ad spend just from that. So I think that's one of the myth is like if you already have that audience, you shouldn't advertise to the audience, but it's actually the opposite, and then we were surprised with the results that we got. So I think that was, again, the really important part for us to continue working with SpotsNow. Super data driven, and it was really, really easy for me to make decisions.